Coming in today, we're like, man, this is the biggest series of the year. You got 7 out of 10 against the Red Sox. You're trying to catch them. We're all jacked up for that 7:07 first pitch at Salem Field. And Ross Stripling can't get out of the first inning, let alone get 2 outs. He goes a third of an inning and allows 6 runs. The Red Sox erupt for 8 in the first inning. Before the Jays are even able to get to the plate one time, they're down 8-0. The Jays end up losing 13-4 to the Boston Red Sox. We talked about it in yesterday's video. Sweep's nice. You did what you were supposed to do against the Texas Rangers. Now, this is in a very meaningful set against the Sox. You got to come out ready to play. But as I've said countless times over and over, you live and you die from starting pitching. And the Jays' starting rotation in the last few games, all 3 against Texas, were great. You won all 3. I understand it's Texas. This is the Red Sox. I understand that's a very, very different team. But Ross Stripling was terrible. You could tell right from the get-go he wasn't throwing strikes. And when he was missing middle. And that's just a disaster waiting to happen. You know, Duran hits his first bomb as a big leader. It's a 2-run shot. Kike Hernandez scores to make it 2-0. Then he loads the bases, gives him a grand slam to Hunter Renfroe. And then Kike Hernandez comes all the way back around, and he hits a 2-run bomb. Plawecki comes in to score, and it's 8-0. 8-0. Just a terrible, terrible time. But it's okay, 8-0. It's only the first inning. The Jays can score runs. The Red Sox pitching staff is not the greatest. So you might find a way to scrounge 8 runs. Maybe. Problem, though, Anthony Kay wasn't any good either. You go to the top of the second inning, Rafael Devers hits a solo bomb. And Danny Santana hits an RBI double. Verdugo and JD Martinez come in to score. And just like that, it's 11-0. 11-0 in the second inning. Game's over. I try to be as optimistic as I possibly can. But you're down 11-0 in the second inning. You need a damn right miracle. The top of the 4th inning, then Danny Santana's like, I'm just going to go deep as well. There's another one, 12-0. Solo bomb. Then the Jays try somewhat to make it even remotely somewhat interesting. As Teoscar Hernandez in the bottom of the 4th gets an RBI ground out, Vladdy scores, then Grichuk gets a sac fly, Springer scores, then Biggio hits a solo bomb, then Bo gets an RBI single. You had some opportunities in this ballgame. In the very first inning, you had 2 on and nobody out. You couldn't get anybody across. In that bottom of the 4th inning, even after the Bo Bichette single to make it a 12-4 game, you still had the bases loaded, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the plate ended up going 0-for-4 in the ballgame. Tough one. You had opportunities. I mean, you're down. You give up 13 runs. You can't expect to win. But you did have some golden opportunities, but they couldn't capitalize. But that's not the reason the Jays lost today. That is by far the least of the worries for the Toronto Blue Jays is the offense. Then at the top of the 6th inning, Kike Hernandez is a solo bomb. And that's it for the offense. 13-4. Jays lose. They're now 7 back of the Red Sox. They are now 5 games over 500 at 48-43. And Ross Stripling has had back-to-back outings of not very good play. People have been saying, well, he's been great all year. This was his first really bad start. He wasn't very good in his last one against Tampa. Went 3 2/3, allowed 4 runs, 3 home runs. He wasn't very good in that outing before the All-Star break. And today, as I mentioned, he went a third of an inning, allowed one guy. He got one guy out. It was a ground out from Devers, and he was boogieing down the line, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Devers? No, it wasn't Devers. Who the heck's I don't know who it was. Bogarts? Of course, out of all people to actually get out, you get Bogarts out. Yeah, that makes total sense. But he has 4 hits, 6 runs, didn't strike out a batter, and walked 2. It's a recipe for disaster. Like I mentioned, he wasn't throwing strikes. He walked 2 guys. You could tell right from the get-go he was not throwing anything close, and I'm like, this is not what I want to feel. Then the double to Hernandez to start off the ball game. I'm like, I got this bad feeling inside me right now. And then Duran goes deep, and the grand slam. Everything came at once. And then Anthony Kay comes out. And I'm thinking, okay, you get a fresh arm out there. At that point, it's only 6-0. It's the first inning. I trust this Jays offense. They can find ways. But Anthony Kay does know better. He goes in the third of it, an inning and a third, allows 5 hits, 5 runs, walks 3, and gets 1 strikeout. He wasn't any good either. Jacob Barnes goes out there and looks like he's a Cy Young candidate with this outing. An inning and a third, allows 1 hit, 1 walk, and a strikeout. No runs score on him. Trevor Richards gives up the solo bomb to who was it? No, sorry, was it the RBI double to Danny Santana? Either way, he goes third of an inning, 1 inning, allows 2 hits, 1 run, and a strikeout. Then Tyler Saucedo goes 2 innings, allows 2 hits, 1 run, and 3 strikeouts. Ryan Brucke, Adam Simber, and Tim Mesa all with clean innings. Brucke allows 1 walk over his inning of work. Adam Simber, no hits, no walks, and a strikeout. Tim Mesa, no hits, no walks, and a strikeout. So your high leverage guys, Brucke, Simber, and Mesa, did a good job. They just need to get some work in. And everyone's going to be like, well, getting mad at me. Well, they haven't pitched since before the All-Star break. So they needed to get a game in. So that was much needed today. And as we'll talk about how bad the pitching was. How, Stripling was terrible and Anthony Kay were terrible. That was really the story in the game. Those 2 guys were downright awful. The offense actually was not terrible. The Jays had 11 hits. They only struck out 8 times. Bo Bichette went 2 for 4 and had an RBI. George Springer went 3 for 4 with a run scored. And Gurriel went 2 for 4 with a run scored. But the problem was you were down 8-0 before any of your offense even could possibly get any offense going, right? You were down 8-0 before your boys even touched the plate. You can't allow that to happen. That's just ridiculous. The problem now is Alek Manoah's hurt. Was he falling up the stairs at Salem Field and he falls back contusion? He's now on the IL. Are you kidding me? Well, as I mentioned in one of the previous videos, if Steven Matz wasn't any good, I thought a guy like Thomas Hatch would be coming up here. Well, he will be making the start tomorrow in replace of Alek Manoah. And Garrett Richards is on the mound for the Boston Red Sox there tomorrow night, 7:07 first pitch. Look, the way I try to look at a game like this, and you can agree with me, you can disagree with me all you want. You can lose a 1-0 ball game, or you can lose 13-4. In the end, it's 1 loss. Right? No matter which way you look at it, the Jays are 7 games back of the Sox. Like I said, they could have lost a 1-0 ball game, been walked off 2-1, whatever the case may be. Same result, 1 loss. So as much as this was a terrible performance and it was a horrendous way to start off this big stretch for the Blue Jays, the great thing about baseball is you can get right back on the field the next day and right the ship. Thomas Hatch, who hasn't pitched at all in the big leagues this year, obviously because of injury, and Garrett Richards, who has not fared well against the Blue Jays at all this year and has an ERA almost at 5, he's not very good. So if Thomas Hatch can give us a couple scoreless innings to start the ball game, the Jays might be able to get the offense going early against Garrett Richards. But you got to throw up some zeros. I'll say it night in, night out. You live and you die from your starting pitching. I don't care how good your offense is. If your pitching's not good enough, you're just not going to win ball games. Ryu, Matz, and Ray were great in that series against Texas, right? Obviously, it helped when you had the big leads for them, but they put up zeros. Ross Stripling couldn't even get 2 outs in this game. And you got your rear end kicked in. The question now is, what is Thomas Hatch going to give you tomorrow night? 7:07 first pitch there at Salem Field, game 2 of the 3-game set. Look, you win that game tomorrow, you're back to 6 games behind the Sox. You've split the series to this point. And we're all looking at it completely different. But you got to find a way to get some zeros on the board tomorrow. And I think that's the key that I'm looking for. You guys too, all right? I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to even talk about this game anymore because, why would I want to talk about a 13-4 loss? It ain't fun. So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and did not enjoy the game today because it wasn't fun, smack the like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the game, what you like, what you not like from the Toronto Blue Jays standpoint. Twitter is down below for myself. Follow up, send me a DM, all that great stuff. The Instagram link is down below as well, so follow up there. If you have not done so already, guys, then I will talk to you tomorrow night, as I mentioned, Jays edition, game 2 of the 3-game set against the Red Sox at Salem Field. Garrett Richards on the mound for the Red Sox. Thomas Hatch gets his season debut for the Toronto Blue Jays, 7:07 first pitch there at Salem Field, as the Blue Jays look to right the ship and forget about this nonsense of a game today. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk to you guys then.